Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another video. Yes, it's our anniversary today. And as usual, I totally forgot to vlog before I left the house, so I'm inserting pictures for you to see. Yes, and so the first place we went to was the Swansea Arena. This place is so beautiful, guys. It's really beautiful. I couldn't capture so much because we didn't even have it planned out. We were just strolling around and then we found the building. We're like, wow. So we actually didn't have plans to get here. It was not on our itinerary. The funny thing about Swansea is their bus schedule. The same time it will take you to enter the bus is the same time it will take you to walk there. In fact, if you walk there, you get there faster than the bus. It was saying it to take us 27 minutes to get to the Waterfront Museum, and then it was saying that it would take us another 27 minutes if we take the bus. Can you imagine? This is the Waterfront Museum. This museum is the Museum of Innovation, Technology, just to document the progress that Wales has made over the last 300 years. There are 7 different museums in this one. So just this one museum consists of 7 different museums. I don't know how to explain it, but if you can read this, you would understand. Maybe you should just pause the video and read this so you can understand what I mean by 7 different museums in one. These images on the wall has date on them, so it is just to show the timeline of the events that has impacted Wales over the last 400 years, the things that has happened, the people, the industry, the technology, the development they've recorded over the last 400 years, so, and how they've impacted the world as well. This is a mobile grocery store from 1929. To be honest, I find it hard to believe sometimes that this same bus, van, car, truck, whatever the name is, from 1929 is still what we are seeing now. Even this ice cream, whatever chariot. I'm finding it hard to believe that it was from the year 1920. How did they keep it? No, maybe these guys built another one because it can't be the same thing.
You can see straight through my life. Oh, there's something in my chest that I can't hide.
I think this is why they called this place a Waterfront Museum, because it's at the waterfront. Wisdom. I'm too wise. Obviously. This part was a little bit emotional for me because it was at this part that I read about the history of Lower Swansea. At the year 1969, this place was in ruins. It was destroyed. They were very poor. They were suffering. But look at what they did with it in just how many years? God, and Nigeria gained independence in 1960. Can you imagine that? This part of the museum is just to display the type of ships, boats, fishing boats, the ships, cruise ships that they used for Ibadan, enjoyment and stuff. But it was just to document all the kind of ships they had at that time, and they documented with the names of the people who built this ship, who used the ship, and with timeline as well, some dating back to 1850, so it was just like really, really beautiful to experience that part of their history. And this voiceover is not so easy for me to do. God, I'm not serious. But yes, let's continue. I'll just show you guys an overview of how this place looks like, so we don't drag this video too long. This part was really interesting. They even showed the menu they served on the ship with the prices. I'm like, come on now, guys, come on, you are doing yourself. But it's really beautiful to see. Like, if you should visit Swansea, you definitely want to come here. this is the industrial part of the museum, the part where they displayed what they used in their factories, their warehouse, what they used for mining, because that's all the things they showed here, the trucks they used. Yeah. And then we saw a gold art from Benin, Nigeria. I'm sure this is from the Benin Kingdom, and I'm sure this is probably one of the stolen arts, because why do you have a Nigerian art? They even have from Kenya, they are from different places, and I'm like, this is what you guys stole from us during your said colonization. But then this is not what this video is about. It's just to show that Nigeria is repping in Wales. When we left this museum, we went to the Museum of Swansea, and then we saw this farmer's kitchen. This kitchen is so interesting because this kitchen has been from the 19th century and it was preserved till date. At least most of the things in here is from the 19th century and it was preserved till date, just to show us how a farmer's kitchen looked like in the 19th century. Can you imagine that? And then we got to the creepy part. Honestly, this part gave me chills. Seeing like a real life mummy. It wasn't like a dummy. It's like an Egyptian mummy, like a mummy, like a proper dead body that has been since probably over 2,000 years or more. Your girl started to blast in tongues. In fact, I made sure I didn't touch anything in this place. Like, I was on my own, because I'm like, let me not go and awaken the dead person with any body movement. At the point, I was even rejecting what they did not even send me. This place had its own temperature, it had its own lightning, it had everything. In fact, the doors were locked. It was just kept on its own. So creepy. And then the prayer from the Book of the Dead. God, no, please.
Hold tight, I've been right where you're standing. Just hold tight to me.
My husband was enjoying the experience, but I couldn't wait to get out of this place. I was tired of seeing dead body, and then the way that place even smelled. It had its own kind of smell. No, please. So we got to a part of this museum, the Museum of Swansea, where they kept their animals. They embalmed these animals so that even as it is going into extinction, they still have a representation, of the animals for the younger generation coming up to be able to see these animals and relate. Even if they cannot see it in real life, at least they can see the embalmed body, which I found really interesting, because they kept a lot of sea animals, birds, even dog. They kept zebras. The one they couldn't keep, they kept the head or the bones. They kept spiders. they kept butterflies, because really I think butterflies are beginning to go into extinction. I really don't see as much butterflies around anymore. They kept their eaters. They try to preserve it. So I saw a golden eagle. I know eagles are big, but I never thought they were this big. I had to stand in front of it and spread my arms to see how big it is. This eagle is bigger than me, so it can carry me.
Cold eyes staring right back at me, but they won't see me cry. This fight wasn't made for everybody. We're different, you and I. Don't you
This tortoise lived for 800 years before it was embalmed. That's after it died. And then this is the bone of a whale, a sea whale. The picture is there right beside it, so you can see the animal and then see the bone. They couldn't preserve it, and so they preserved the bone, which is beautiful. We call this animal bat in my country, and I saw a lot of it while in boarding school. Little terrorists. Aside the animal, I love the interior of this place, especially the details of the roof trusses. I just love it. I have to insert it in this video. As per architect where I be now. I love how this place was planned out. I love the interior. I just love the organization, everything, the color, the temperature, and it was so quiet. Like, they really planned this place properly. Everything, I can't even fault the arrangement at all. And then we saw this dog. It's called Swansea Jack. He won a lot of award for his service in the military to the people of Swansea. Oh, wait till you know if you do. Anyways, that's it. As you're enjoying this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. It's very important. Thank you. This is one part of the museum that was funny to me. It's called the ceramic part, where they displayed all the ceramics that they did in that year. In my tribe, we call it Abajashi. This kind of plate is a very, very important plate in a Yoruba woman's home. They keep it on top of the wardrobe or under the bed. They keep it like national treasure. And they only use it to serve food on special occasion. So I told my husband, I think I need to buy some of these plates to serve you. The guy was like, what? Our mothers, if you break this plate, this is the kind of plate that they would threaten you that if you break this plate, I will use it to give you tribal mark. This is the kind of plate. I was just surprised to see that they created a whole section just to display Abajashi and Awo. You get? But then it's just to show how intentional and how deliberate they are to preserving their culture so that young generation can see it and appreciate it. If they did not preserve it, I would think that this is just something specific to Africans. I wouldn't know that even in Wales, they had a culture like this. So we had to rest a little before continuing our journey. And the next place we went to was a tropical rainforest that was located in the middle of the city. We were welcomed by this 1.8 meter long python. And as usual, we were careful not to go near the glass because it can reach our tongue, let the thing break. You get. If you see us showing you leaves or trees that is irrelevant to this video, please forgive us. We're trying not to show people's faces in this video so we don't get into trouble or any kind of problem. So I hope you understand. This rainforest is another part or another thing in Swansea that I found really amusing because of the location. Things like this, where I come from, is usually in maybe a secluded area, a private area, a quiet area, but this is in the heart of the city. In fact, next to the mall, and a lot of shopping activity going on around. And then they created this tropical rainforest in a very quiet, like, it's so quiet. When you get in there, the only thing you can hear is the sound of the water, the animals, and then people in there making noise. It's so quiet. So it just, as an architect, I found it really interesting because, to create something like this in a busy environment would mean you putting a lot of details into consideration, and for them to be able to position all these things strategically. There's a lot of places to visit, a lot of towns, curve. They don't have so much animals, to be honest, because all the animals I saw in this place were barely up to 30. I'm not sure I saw up to 30 animals in this place, but the way they planned it, the orientation, the way they placed the spaces, just made it look like there was a lot of activities going on in this place, which there wasn't so much going on in this place. It was just very few animals. I think it's a new center, it's a new place, so maybe that's why they're just coming up, because like I said, there wasn't so much to this place, but for me it was interesting because you had this canopy, you had this bridge, you had this explorer home, you had these curves, the bend, the waterfall. So you had a lot that would catch your eyes, and a lot of places you just want to enter, a lot of cage, you know. So it makes it look very interesting and made it look as if there's a lot going on in this place, but there's barely enough animals. Barely. But you know, I'm talking as an African, and I'm talking as someone who came from a place where there's zoo, where there's a lot of zoo and where there's a lot of animal, to other people who aren't so accustomed to that life. This is perfect. This is, you know, this would give you a typical experience of how a forest would look like. Across the world, there are only 33 countries where we have a tropical rainforest, and Nigeria is one of them. So it's only normal for me to not find it as interesting as others, because we have it at home. So this is an example of an explorer life, an explorer home, how they would naturally set up their space. So they're saying the largest shell ever recorded. Please, have you not seen a bean that is bigger than this in Nigeria? Like this thing, we don't even know. Look at our cocoa. Our cocoa plant. Look at coconuts. This is some of African coconut that they are seeing. This is hilarious. Look at our cola nuts. Okay, this is inside the cocoa. What is amazing to these people is very, very nice. Then we visited the castle of Swansea. This is the third castle to be built in the whole of England. It was built by Sir William. The construction started from his father, and then he completed it in the year 1200. There was nothing much to this castle as well. And then I got tired from all the exploring, although my husband still had energy in him, but I was already tired.
Oh, I got lost on the way to you in an orange sky by the ocean blue. Every mile lost, my soul renewed, taken by the sunrise and the golden view. Walking slowly in the mountains underneath the constellations. Yeah, I know that you've been waiting for me. Time is losing all its meaning, like I'm living in a dream, and I've been chasing all the feelings I need. It's in these moments with words unspoken, my eyes wide open, life tastes so sweet. It's in
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment as well. Thank you. So it's time to say goodbye to Swansea. Bye, Swansea.
Sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind.
Of our journey, final love. I don't want to go.